I'm going to take another little video trying to explain and refine it a little bit more than my first video on adjusting the linkage to the 59 Ford Skyliner Retractable Hardtop top. And anyway, the first thing you do is you put the top up and fully locked down. You can even jump one of the relays over here, the lock, unlock, or those first two there. You see that in the shop manual. And fully locked down, and then unlock it and bring the top up a little bit, and you loosen. I'll just, for simplicity's sake, I saw it the screw and the nut. The nut's in the body, and the screws in the top. The screw's powered. In the back, the nut is powered, and the screw's in the top, but it's stationary. Anyway, the screw and the nut on both sides, loosen those. There's a big Phillips head screws, 2 on the screw, 2 on the nut on each side. You loosen those. Similar situation in the back. You loosen these on both sides. Then you put the top all the way on the car, screw it on. So then you're done with the screws for now. The next thing is the linkage. So then, like I said before, you loosen the 4 pivot the power link pivot screws right here, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. A little bit hard to get to. You back the adjusting screw all the way out. You back this one all the way up. Over here on the control link arm, you loosen the lock nut, and you back this all the way up. And then you take the bolt out of here, out of the screw jack, and out of there, and set that aside. Do that on both sides. And then to do the adjusting, this should be all the way forward. You can push down on it, make sure, and this should be loose. You can pull this mechanism kind of up and down and back and forth. And on the other video, I said to put it up. It can be done that way. Seems like it works. I'm not sure which is the best, but I think what the shop manual, they didn't really state it correctly. I think what they are doing is that you let it rest down, and you want it to be, kind of level with this plate right here, that adjusting plate that goes up and down and forward and backwards. You want it to be kind of like this. You don't want it to tilt this way or tilt that way. You want it level. And then it'll go back and forth and up and down. But leave it down with that all the way forward. And then you screw in this until it meets. And that's pretty much all the way forward by itself. You might move it a slight bit maybe, but you bump this all the way against this nut, adjusted nut against here. And actually, what you can use, should have had this over here. Here's my little contraption here, and this is, I think it's a 7/16, the smaller size ratchet, and put it in here, and then you have that square and with a swivel. And you can get in here to adjust this, and you can also use it on here. But here you can get to the nut if you want to. Anyway, so at that point, you turn. This is a hex head, so it's got 6 sides to it. So you turn this in half a turn. That would be 3 sides. So you turn it, until you see I've got the one side on the top. So you turn it 1, 2, 3. And that tightens this up, takes the slack out. And you can then back the nut, back up against it. And do the same on the other side. Then on here, you bring the bolt all the way down, and till it meets the control link arm. And then you turn it 2 full turns. And so that would be 12 of these little flats on the bolt head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 12, and on both sides. And then finally, then you put in the jack screw, and you have it set at the top where it's 1 inch from here to the edge of the tube, or it's about 13 turns in if you take this all the way out of the tube as a starting place. And so anyway, so then you pin it here, and you see if you can freely get your bolt through here. If you can't, if it's it needs to move back a little bit, need to make it longer, then you just take the bolt out and screw that out 1 turn and make it a little longer. And in this case here, once I had them set at that 1 inch, I had to move one of them. I think it was this in here, or maybe both, I forget, but only 1 turn. And then the bolt went in. And then, so reinstall both of the jacks, and put the nut in here, and I would go ahead and snug it down. No sense to put it super tight, just snug. And the same up here, snug, and over there and over there. It turns out, I think, that if you just put it in loose, and then later you come in and tighten it real tight, it can mess the adjustment up that you just did. So I would leave that alone once, if possible, unless you need to do some fine tuning with making a top in the front go to the left or the right. In that case, you shorten. If it needs to go to the left, the front of the top, you would shorten this one or make that one long, or vice versa. But anyway, once you got this set, now you go back to screws. So now you can use your jump your relay, and you unscrew the screws about halfway. And at that point, you can tighten the nuts on the front, and you have enough room. You can tighten the nuts in the back, and one of the two tightening on the, you can't get to the other one, it's pretty hard, but at least one of them. Now when you're doing the ones in the front, one of the holes, there's one hole, and one is a round hole, one is a slot. So suppose we tighten the one with the hole first to where it doesn't move, and then tighten the one with the, and you should be able to see under there which is which on the nuts we're talking about. So next thing, you lift the top up all the way, and now you can get to the screws. So then you do the screws in the top, tighten those up, and then you tighten that other screw in the top that you couldn't get to a minute ago. So at that point, you're ready to try the top. So you should be able to go down. I might add that you want to loosen these tracks back here. See right now it worked out pretty good. They're about even. This track will adjust this way and that way, and it's more or less centered on both of them. And so these 3 bolts here, you loosen them, make sure that they're loose enough where this can wiggle and go, of course you want it to be straight this way, not like that or like that. But anyway, make sure it'll move good. And the same on the other side. And then as the top goes, we put the top down, slow it down, make sure that the pins are going to go in there. You don't want to hit and start messing something up or bending something. And move those as necessary, or move the top back up a little bit, and then move it, maybe lightly tighten it, tighten one of them, and make sure it's set right. And of course you also have to, when the top goes down, it gets very, very close to touching here. At one point when I was adjusting, I had only 1/8 of an inch over here or less, and here I had over 1 inch. As it is now, it's fairly centered, amazingly. So, but if you do all the adjustments, if everything is square, and I was able to do this pretty much successfully, I guess, with these lift arms being not in line with each other. You can kind of see this one should be this way, and what's the bracket that's welded to the floor, and it's not. It's like this. And that one over there also is not exactly like this, is like that. So that makes the tie bar and everything twist. So what I had to do, I explained on the other video, I left this loose. This is tight here, and this nut is just, again, it's snug. It's not super tight. And this only have a few threads engagement right here. And so that allows this to twist a little bit because these are not correct. They should be cut out and re-welded. But, you know, short of doing a major thing like that, I did get it to work. And but anyway, that allows us to twist a little bit without, if this is like weld based real tight, like it's welded on here, when this twists, it's going to bend significantly, that tie bar. And as I have it now, it's bending slightly, but not too much. It'll be straight, then it bends maybe a little slight, and then it kind of straightens out as the top, you know, goes down. But anyway, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but that's it's pretty, actually it's more or less straightforward, as long as you get used to how to get your wrenches in here, which is a little bit tricky. And unlike what I went through, you don't have these adjusters here are loose. Mine were painted with extremely hard, I mean very hard paint, and I couldn't get a wrench on there. It took me hours to get these all free. I mean, I couldn't believe it, but there was no, I mean, it was unbelievable. And but anyway, so but you may not have that situation, but I did finally get everything freed up. So that's more or less how it works. And before you do any of what I just said, if your forward roof needs to be adjusted, do that first. Otherwise, you'll have to redo everything again. So do this first, and you can see in this case, it's pretty level. And this is pretty, same on the other side, is pretty good. Should have the same gap. And I would have maybe preferred a smaller gap, but this top would not go in anymore. Maybe it's due to all the gaskets being brand new, or the molding, rubber molding, or whatever. That's the best I could do with it. Some people say should be 3/8. It's about what I've got here. But anyway, make sure you got that first before you do anything, before you start loosening the screws and doing adjustments and the whole thing. But that's basically it. Start out with loosening this, and you go in the truck, get everything loose in here, and you do your adjustment, and then start tightening everything on the linkage, and put the jacks back in place. You know, loosen these back here, and go back then, retract the top back, and start tightening your screws up here. And then try it, and it should work okay. If the top comes up and it's too low, then you have to come back here and turn this in. If you do one full turn, supposedly turns the front, will raise the front of the roof 3/16 of an inch. So you should do the same on each side. And I prefer not have to do that, because you could throw everything out of whack. But anyway, that will raise it. Maybe you have to turn a half a turn or hopefully not much more than that, or if any. And again, if it's left or right in the front, if the screws are to the right, then you need to pull the top this way. And to pull it this way, you would make this up here shorter by try half a turn or a turn, depending on if you got 2 slots in here or 1, and or lengthen the other one, that amount, one or the other. And if it's over to the left, it would be reversed. You would shorten that one or lengthen this one, whichever, and that tilts the top a little bit. So anyway, that's more or less how you do it. And it doesn't hurt to have one of my books, and let me see where I don't think I have. I think I brought it today. I don't see where I've got my book. But anyway, I've got a cheat sheet that helps with the wiring diagram if you got some issues with one of the circuits not completing the circuit, whichever operation it is. So anyway, there you go. So I've got everything back together on this car, and but it was quite a seat's still out, quite a ordeal, because it was really messed up. This car had what happened was I don't know the whole story behind it because I didn't have the car for just got it in a few weeks ago. But anyway, over here, that pivot on the power link was loose, and so when I'd put the top up, what would happen is the screws were lined up with the windshield header nuts. And then when it was maybe this far, so the top was this far away from the windshield, suddenly the screws were going this way, and then they just go that way. The whole roof would just kind of go to one side, like a lot, 2 inches or something, or maybe 3 inches. So I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, that ended up bending stuff, severely bending this, and then it wasn't adjusted quite right because of that, and then the power link arm would almost go over center. It wouldn't even retract the top. It became a major ordeal to get that all figured out, and everything was just a mess, and much more than what I thought when I first got the car to work on it. And but I did these arms are actually 5/16 of an inch shorter. They're made by Wayne Rollins, and I think I have from right, I can't see, my camera's not focusing right, but from right there on that surface of that clevis to all the way down here to where the large part of the housing for the transmission is, I got 43 inches. I think I'm pretty much exactly on both sides. On my 57, it is, I think it might be about a little bit more, maybe a 1/4 inch more. But that's probably because I've got the longer arms on it. But those shorter arms, they help to get, very important to get this, the power link arm right here, get that parallel to the lift jack. And can't really see on here, but if I go all the way down, it's pretty much parallel, and the same on the other side. And that gives the force, but that you're pulling here directly back to this link. It takes a lot of force to pull this top off, and if that's way much bigger angle, it's not gonna work. Maybe bend something. Sometimes they go over center, and then the top goes up a little bit, and it gets in a bind and stops and starts bending stuff and pulling the brackets off the floor or whatever. Well, something like that might have happened. There's something happened sometime in this car's past to cause this to be bent like that. And but these things provide tremendous amount of force, mechanical leverage, so it'll pull wells up. So anyway, a little longer maybe than I thought I was going to make this, but I don't know if you understand me, kind of a crude video, but that's a little bit on. I didn't explain how to adjust the linkage in the top, but basically there's 3. You can get them with an offset, I think it's 1/2 inch wrench, 3 bolts over here, 3 on the other side. So you loosen all those up, and you let the top just very lightly rest on a towel on top of the windshield. And you may have to these turnbuckles here, you may have to raise the leading edge of the main roof, up or down, and then raise the front roof until you can get it the best you can, and then tighten on each side of the bolts. So not extremely bad, but sometimes they have a valley, sometimes they have a peak, where the forward roof and the main roof come together. On here, I'm pretty much level. I even got a level here, or as good as I could get it anyway. So you can see it's fairly flat there. But anyway, so there you go. Hope this helps some people do something similar to this, or at least understand sort of how it works. So easier said than done, like they say. Thanks for watching. Bye.